is Deb, and I'm happy to say that I believe this time everyone can hear me. Hopefully everyone had no issues signing in. If you could just kindly raise your hand using the system if you can hear me, I would greatly appreciate that. That way we know. Oh, thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. Okay, we're going to get started, and for those of you that tried to sign in last week, the technical issues that we had were not my fault. Many of you know that I have experienced a lot of technical issues, but I promise it wasn't my fault last time. So we're just going to do a quick recap from last week with some of the issues that I was planning on discussing. First of all, the update on the marketplace training. We are running our sessions, as you all may know. There are invitations within our Healthcare Reform Essentials that come out every Thursday. The remaining classes are September 9th, 17th, and 23rd here at URL, and there is one on September 16th in Wilkes-Barre at the Hampton Inn on Schechter Drive. So watch for that newsletter today, and if you haven't signed up or want to sign up, go ahead and do so. There are some issues with the second phase of once you complete all your portals. The correct curriculum that you want to check when you go into the Marketplace Learning Network is the Agent Broker Individual Marketplace and Shop Marketplace. And up to this point, that is all that is required to sell individual and small group within the federally facilitated marketplaces. The only thing required for the shop for this year is just that shop agreement. The individual, there are the modules that you must go through, and then there's an additional identity proofing process which you register at portal.cms.gov. The most you can do at this point is register, because the second phase where you choose your application or access your application has not been released by HHS at this point. So, again, if there's additional questions on that, just let me know. I think you all know how to contact me. I did check again this morning, and not only was the portal.cms.gov site down, but the phase 2 was still not up. So that's just an update. I've been getting a lot of questions about commissions, and they have not been released yet. Commissions from carriers are to be the same inside the federally facilitated marketplace as they are out. So there's no question about that. There is an opportunity, obviously, for all of us to earn that commission, whether you're helping somebody claim that subsidy within the exchange or the small business tax credit within the shop exchange, or just writing business as usual for the non-subsidy eligible people outside of the exchange. The rates also have not been released, so we have no information about rates either. I think that they are supposed to be released 10/1, which is going to make 10/1 sales for 1/1 effective dates very interesting for all of us. As you probably know, as soon as I get any information on the rates, I'll be releasing those to everyone. The subsidies and advanced tax credits, again, the subsidies, which is really advanced tax credits, that's code for the subsidies, those credits are available for people that are between 100 and 400% of the federal poverty level. That equates to about $45,000 for a single and about $94,000 for a family of 4. So you can see that there will be a large group of your clients that would be subsidy eligible. So if you haven't qualified or certified to sell within the marketplace, I would urge you to do so, because you don't want to exclude yourself from that market. The submission procedure, I do plan on having not only product training, whether it's webinars or seminars when the products are released, and also process training. And there are three ways to submit business. You can, as an agent that is certified to sell within the federally facilitated exchange, go directly to healthcare.gov and start an application for your insured. However, their responsibility, the way I understand it at this point, is to put in your national producer number. So that still leaves, some question as to whether you would get credits, whether your insured would remember to put in your number or not. I think the best option would be, as you do now, either taking a paper application and emailing or faxing it to URL, and we will convert that into electronic, or through the insurer's website. Each insurer is required to have an interface to healthcare.gov so that if they are subsidy eligible, that would trigger them to basically bump out of the carrier website, go to healthcare.gov, and then they'll come back to the issuer's website to continue the application process. Sounds a bit convoluted, and again, we don't have a whole lot of details at this point on really how it's going to work in all practicality, but again, as soon as I have any real live information on how this is going to work, I'll be running webinars, and my promise to you is as much as URL can be involved in converting those paper to electronic, even through the federally facilitated marketplaces, we will absolutely still provide that benefit for you. Selling periods and effective dates. For the January 1st, 2014 sales, the portals will open up 10/1, but you have to be mindful, too, of the cutoff date. So essentially, anyone that is making application from 10/1 of 2013 through 12/15 of 2013 would be eligible to receive a 1/1/2014 effective date. If they submit an application 12/16 to 1/15, they would be eligible for a 2/1/2014 effective date. 1/16 to 2/15 is 3/1, and so on. The actual initial enrollment period for this year ends 3/31 of 2014. So if your client waits until 3/30 of 2014, the earliest effective date they would be eligible for would be 5/1, because the cutoff is the 15th of each month. Again, if you have specific questions on that, you know where to find me. Just don't hesitate to ask. We did receive on Tuesday information from HHS, and this will be included in my Healthcare Reform Essentials newsletter. HHS has delayed the contract signing of all of the plans until mid-September. Now, what that means, I'm not sure. Originally, the plans were supposed to be stamped and contracts with carriers were to be signed between the 5th and the 9th of September, but again, that's now been delayed. What that means as far as going to market 10/1, I don't know yet. There are regs that are going to be released tomorrow. Maybe we'll have some sort of hint since it's a Friday, first of all, and since it's a holiday weekend. So regs have traditionally come out every Friday, maybe to avoid press. I don't know, but we're anxious to see what's going to come out on Friday. And as we mentioned in the follow-up from last week, we are getting a lot of questions on group renewals, both early renewals and then also individual renewals. I'll talk a little bit about individual renewals right now, and then I'm going to have John Reel, who is our group health marketing representative, talk a little bit about the group renewal process. But for the individual programs, most carriers have extended the life of their plans until well into the end of 2014. I will be getting a list out to you very shortly, but if you have specific questions about specific carriers and what your current individual health clients need to do or what their options are, just give me a call and I can certainly help you out with that. But I'm going to turn it over to John now, and he'll talk a little bit about the group renewals.
Okay. The early renewal in December 2013 may provide stability and consistency for coverage. It will allow your client to keep their current plan design and wait to implement all aspects of ACA requirements until the December 2014 renewal. There may be cost savings associated with delaying the ACA requirements. It may be beneficial for some groups, but no doubt will be for others. Some of the renewals that have come out have a chart that will show the estimated increase should they choose to not early renew, and the savings that if they would choose to early renew. You should have all these already. There will be a few Geisinger ones coming out today, and that will be the rest of them. And NEPA will also, theirs have not come out yet. They will be coming out shortly too, but just to touch on them, they said that 85% of their groups will have an option for a rate hold through 12/31/14. And any questions or anything on the renewals, certainly give me a ring or shoot me an email. Like I said, you should have all these out today, or already, except for the Geisingers. There's a handful of those coming out today. And do you want me to touch on the self-funding now as well?
Yeah, please.
Okay. And then also to touch base on the self-funding. Self-funded rates are exempt from community rating. They will be rated on their own merit based on sex, age, and health conditions that may exist. The ideal group has an average age of under 45 and no catastrophic illnesses pending. Naturally, the size of the group determines what anticipated claims they can take on or what they recommend that they stay with their traditional community-rated health reform plans. A lot of our carriers have lowered their minimum employee count for doing self-funding, so it's much more of an option than it's been in the past. And we also have a couple webinars coming up with a company called Healthy Choices. They will be on September 19th and 26th at 2 p.m., so stay tuned for an invite on that.
Thanks, John. Yeah, I think that, you know, each group is certainly different, and I would ask that you contact John, as he mentioned, because he can certainly help you decide what the best, best course is for your group clients, whether it's to do the early renewal, as John mentioned, or just stay the course and run out the current plan, or go to a PPACA type plan. And there are some groups that may benefit from a PPACA plan. Not many, mind you, but there will be some. So at this point, I am going to open it up for questions. I hope that you have a lot of questions, and you can either raise your hand if you have a question or type it into the question box on the control panel to the right of your screen, and we'll take your questions now. I'm going to open it up to, let me just see here. I think what I'll do first is answer the typed in questions. And, oh, this is a good one because I get this quite a bit. If you are already signed up for an in-house training session for the marketplace, do you need to do anything online? And the answer to that is no. What we're offering is really a support session to help you through the marketplace website to make sure you choose the correct portals, the modules, and get through the system. So if you are doing that online, there is no need to come to one of my support sessions. Another question, after March 31st, 2014, can an individual enroll in a plan direct through a carrier's website without accessing the FSM? And the answer to that is kind of a yes and no. If a person on an individual plan, if their incumbent individual plan is not extended through 2014, and upon their 12-month renewal, which might be 6/1, terminates that plan, then you can enroll that person effective 6/1 either through the federally facilitated exchange or direct with the insurer, but it will be a PPACA plan because any new plan sold after January 1st of 2014 must be a PPACA plan. What is going to happen if Obamacare is not funded? Well, that's a really good question. I have talked to a lot of my friends in the industry, and we're kind of divided. Some feel that it will make an impact. I think that this train has left the track, and there's nothing that's going to stop it for a 10-1 rollout, even if the exchanges are not fully up and running, and even if it means reverting back to paper. So that's my own 2 cents. But I guess we'll all see in, I believe, mid-October when they have to make a decision. What was the website for getting certified to sell within the exchange? And what I'll do as a follow-up is email that link to everyone. It is going to, again, be in the Healthcare Reform Essentials newsletter again today. It's been in there the last several weeks, but I will send that out today. So those are all the typed-in questions that I have at this point. And let's see if I have any raised hands. I do. All right. All right. Janet, do you have a question?
No.
Oh, okay. And let's see here. I believe these are hands from just telling me that you can hear me. Yes, I think that's correct. All right. Well, let's see here if we have any more typed in questions. If not, we're pretty much done for this session. Oh, there is a question that just came in. What about networks? I've heard 2 different things. I've heard from different carriers that they might be going to a more restricted network, kind of either like an HMO or an EPO program or network for some of their programs. But I've also heard from other carriers that the networks will be the same for all of their products. So again, until we actually see the plans, that's just what I'm hearing. And what's the status on the navigators? Well, that's very interesting because last week HHS granted, I believe, well, I forget the amount of billions, but quite a bit of money to the navigators that have been approved for Pennsylvania. There are actually 5 that were approved. And what I've done is I've written out to them to hopefully partner with them. A lot of them are really community-based organizations, mental health organizations, and a lot of their clients will more than likely be Medicaid eligible. But the purpose of reaching out to them for URL and of course our agents is to maybe form a referral sort of partnership so that you as agents could get passed on to the people that would not qualify for Medicaid. So I just sent those letters out the end of last week. I plan on following up actually tomorrow to see if they want to meet and discuss it. But again, we don't write business internally here, even though we're licensed agents. So any leads and partnership that URL makes with the navigators will certainly be passed on to you as certified agents. And a good question is, can we sell across state lines? No, that provision was not really approved or implemented within this law. And the restrictions are the same as what they are now with the carriers. Some carriers have national networks, so you can sell in Pennsylvania and they can travel outside of Pennsylvania and still have good network access. But there's no selling New Jersey people in a Pennsylvania plan or vice versa. And who are the navigators exactly? Well, I can get you a list. And in fact, in my Healthcare Reform Essentials newsletter, I do have a list of those navigators, but I will get that list out to you as well. And I believe those are the extent of the questions. We did have, my intentions are to have this conference call every Thursday at 9:30 because things are just hitting rapid fire, and as we move closer to 10/1, there's going to be information that we all have coming out that you need to know. So I'm going to run them every Thursday. However, next Thursday, which is September 5th, is the date of our Leaders Conference at the Hershey Lodge. So next Thursday, September 5th at 9:30 is going to be canceled. The next webinar will be September 12th at 9:30. So hopefully you'll all join back in. Send me your questions. I am more than happy to answer any questions, and I can tell you that no question is a dumb question, so don't worry about asking what you think might be something that's common knowledge, because there's so little information at this point out there that there's still a lot of unknown. So a question that you might think has been published has not necessarily been published. So please keep the questions coming. It helps me do some research and helps me learn as well. And as I always say, we're going to sink or swim together, and I'm choosing to swim. So hopefully you'll be swimming with me. I thank you for your time today and appreciate your partnership with URL, and look forward to hopefully reaping the benefits of what could be a really good opportunity for all of us. So have a great day and have a great Labor Day weekend. Bye-bye.